We've been spending weeks reviewing real drivers' cars, and what we found inside those vehicles completely contradicts what dealerships tell you when you buy your car. There's a function that most owners never activate, and that's costing them up to $300 in completely avoidable repairs. And the most striking thing, the problem isn't the car. The problem is that nobody explained to you how to use it. Today, I'm going to show you the 17 hidden functions we tested in real vehicles, ranked from the most curious to the one that can save you the most money. Number 1 is going to make you want to go check your car right this moment. Let's begin. Number 17. The rear grid that does two jobs at the same time. There's something you've seen thousands of times without understanding what it really does. Those thin horizontal lines on your rear windshield, the ones that heat up when you press the defrost button, aren't doing just one job. They're doing two at the same time, and almost nobody knows what the second one is. Yes, it defogs the glass. Everybody knows that. But that same grid of lines also functions as the main antenna for your satellite radio. Every time someone scrapes the inside of that window with a rough cloth or with an ice scraper, they're physically damaging the antenna embedded in the glass. What nobody tells you is that a single broken line can eliminate an entire frequency band. You start noticing cutout signal, static, reception that comes and goes, and you never connect that to the scraping from 3 months ago. Replacing a rear windshield with an integrated grid costs between $300 and $800 depending on the vehicle. All of that avoidable if you know you shouldn't clean that glass with pressure, neither on the inside nor with abrasive materials. Always clean in a horizontal direction following the lines, never diagonally or in circles. Number 16. The headrest that can save your life outside the car. Every day you get into your car, adjust the mirror, and you pay no attention at all to the headrest. But it has an emergency function that manufacturers designed specifically for critical situations and that almost no driver knows about. The headrest can be completely removed. Look for the small button at the base where the two metal rods enter the seat. Press that button while pulling upward and the headrest comes out clean in seconds. Why does that matter? Because those metal rods at the bottom are strong enough to break your side window from the inside in an emergency. If you get trapped with the door locked and the power window without current, the headrest is your escape tool. What nobody tells you, manufacturers designed this extraction function specifically thinking about that scenario. It's not a design accident. Removing the rear headrests also lets you fold the seats completely flat, gives you more visibility to rear passengers on long trips, and makes deep cleaning of the seats enormously easier. Number 15. The round cap on the bumper that isn't decorative. If you have a car from the last 10 years, there's probably a small circular cap on your front bumper. Most drivers assume it's a vent, an aesthetic detail, or simply a part of the design. It's neither of those things. That cap covers a threaded receiver that goes directly to your vehicle's chassis. It's the manufacturer's official hitch point for emergency towing situations. You remove the cap, screw a tow hook into that hole, and you have a secure anchor point designed by engineers to support the weight of your entire car. What nobody tells you, without that hook, when you get stuck in mud, in snow, or in a ditch, there's no solid point to connect a rescue rope to, and when someone tries to pull you from the wrong point on the bumper, they can literally rip it off the car. A modern front bumper costs between $2,500 between the part and labor. That emergency hook exists exactly to prevent that damage. Check if your car comes with the hook included in the trunk. Many manufacturers put it there, and nobody ever finds it. Number 14. The free remote start you already have in your hand. Car manufacturers have spent years building a very profitable business around something you already have on your keyring. The connected apps that let you remotely start your car's climate control cost between $15 and more a month, depending on the brand. Some charge even more and sell it to you as if it were exclusive technology, as if you couldn't access that function without the subscription. Here's what they don't tell you. Many modern vehicles already have remote start with climate control built directly into the key fob. No app, no subscription, no monthly cost. The process on most cars is this. Press the lock button once, then hold down the remote start button, which generally has a circular arrow icon or the letters RS. The engine starts and the climate system turns on in the setting you left it at last time. What nobody tells you. Manufacturers built this function into the key hardware years ago. The subscription app doesn't add new capability. It only adds range and a nice screen. The kicker. If you've spent 2 years paying $20 a month for a remote start app, you've already spent $480 on something you had for free since the day you bought the car. Number 13. The throttle reset that mechanics won't tell you exists. Your car starts feeling different. The acceleration doesn't respond the way it used to. There's a split second of hesitation when you press the pedal. The car feels like it lost something, but you don't know exactly what. Before you go to a mechanic and pay between $50 and $150 for diagnostics, there's something you can do yourself in under 2 minutes. No tools, no technical knowledge, in the parking lot, wherever you are. It's called Throttle Body Calibration Reset, and it works like this. Turn the ignition on without starting the engine. Just power up the dashboard, press the gas pedal all the way down, and hold it there for a full 10 seconds. Turn the ignition off completely. Wait 30 seconds. Start the engine normally. The system just recalibrated the throttle's reference points from scratch. What nobody tells you. This procedure exists because the throttle control module learns patterns over time and sometimes loses its base calibration, especially after a battery disconnection or a system update. This is literally the same reset a shop performs electronically with a scanner. The difference is they charge you for hooking up the equipment and you just did it for free. Hey, before we continue, if these kinds of tricks made you curious to really understand how your car works on the inside, there's something I left in the pinned comment that's going to interest you. Let's continue. Number 12. The alert your car has been showing you for weeks that you keep ignoring. Your key fob is dying and your car is telling you. The problem is, the alert appears exactly at the moment you're paying the least attention. Right when you've just started the car and you're getting settled to leave, a notification pops up on the dashboard. You say, yeah, and press accept without reading it, and it's been appearing like that for weeks. That alert is the low key fob battery warning, and what happens afterward if you ignore it is predictable. The doors stop responding on the first try. Remote start fails. You have to bring the fob almost right up against the door handle sensor for it to detect the signal, and eventually, the fob stops working completely at the worst possible moment. What nobody tells you. When the fob dies completely, some vehicles require a dealership visit to resync it with the car's system. That costs between $75 and $150 for a battery. The replacement battery costs around $5 and takes 30 seconds to change. It's one of the cheapest, fastest repairs that exist, and people put it off until it turns into a $150 problem. Number 11. How to start your car when the fob is completely dead. The fob died. You're in a parking lot, pressing the start button over and over, and nothing happens. The first instinct is to call someone or look for a shop. Wait, there's something you probably don't know about your car. Most modern vehicles have an NFC reader or a passive transponder built directly into the start button or a specific spot on the center console. This system can read your fob's chip without needing any battery at all. Take the fob with the dead battery, place it directly against the start button, physically touching it. Then press the button normally with the fob still there. On many vehicles, the car starts. What nobody tells you. The chip that authenticates your fob never needs a battery to be read at close range. The battery only powers the lock and remote start buttons. The security chip works passively at all times. Manufacturers bury this procedure on a single page somewhere in the owner's manual because they'd rather you go to the dealership. Knowing this trick can save you a tow, an emergency call, and an unnecessary shop visit. Number 10. The seatbelt adjustment that can make the difference in an accident. The seatbelt cuts into your neck or keeps slipping off your shoulder and you've accepted it as normal, as if it were an unavoidable discomfort of driving. It isn't, and it has real consequences that go beyond discomfort. On the door pillar, right where the seatbelt comes out before crossing your chest, there's a height adjuster. It's a piece of plastic with a button. You press that button and you can slide the belt's anchor point up or down the pillar so it sits exactly where your body needs it to be. Shorter drivers need to lower it so the belt crosses the chest correctly. Taller drivers need to raise it so it doesn't press against the neck. What nobody tells you. A poorly positioned belt isn't just uncomfortable. In a collision, a belt that crosses the neck can cause serious cervical injuries. One that slips off the shoulder leaves the upper torso completely unprotected on impact. Some vehicles with saved driver profiles automatically adjust the belt height along with the seat and mirrors when you select your profile. If your car has that function and you haven't set it up, you're missing out on one of the vehicle's most important safety adjustments. Number 9. The mode that protects your battery. When the car is going to sit parked for weeks, you're going on a trip, the car stays parked 2 or 3 weeks, and deep down, you know there's a chance you'll come back to a dead battery. What most drivers don't know is that their car is constantly drawing power even while off. The security sensors, the system memory, door monitoring, all those background processes slowly drain the battery every day the car sits parked. Many modern vehicles have a deep sleep mode or transport mode that you can activate from the dashboard settings menu under the battery or vehicle management section. This mode turns off all non-essential processes and reduces consumption to a minimum level. What nobody tells you. A battery that fully discharges doesn't just leave you stranded. A deep discharge damages the battery's internal cells and permanently shortens its lifespan. A replacement battery costs between $150 and $300. Activating the power-saving mode before a long trip costs nothing and can be the difference between starting without a problem when you get back and finding a battery that's already beyond saving. Number 8. The window reset nobody knows exists. The power window starts behaving strangely, stopping halfway. The one-touch auto up/down mode stops working. You have to hold the button the whole time. Before assuming there's an electrical problem or that the motor is damaged, there's something you should try first. Power windows have an internal calibration that defines their travel limits, how far down and how far up they go. That calibration sometimes gets lost, especially after the battery is disconnected or a fuse is changed. The procedure to recalibrate it is this. Lower the window all the way down and hold the button down for 3 more seconds. Then raise it all the way to the top and hold the button up for 3 more seconds. The motor just relearned its travel limits. What nobody tells you. Shops charge diagnostic fees just to run this same procedure, because most drivers assume a window that isn't working right means a damaged motor or a wiring problem. If the auto reverse function, the one that stops the window if it detects an obstacle while going up, stopped working, this same reset restores it completely. Number 7. The rear lever that saves you from contorting yourself in the seat. You need to fold the back seats down. The usual sequence is getting in the car, reaching for the backrest, hunting for the mechanism, trying to pull it while stretching from an impossible angle. There's a much simpler way, right where you're already standing. Open the trunk, look at the lower part of the rear panel where the back seat's backrest ends and the trunk begins. There's a lever, a strap, or a release cable there. Pull it, and the seat folds completely flat forward without you having to get in the car or reach from an awkward angle. What nobody tells you. Manufacturers installed this function specifically so you can load long objects without needing someone inside the car pushing while you pull from outside. This lever also reveals how much real cargo space your car actually has, which in most cases is significantly more than drivers normally use. Boards, bikes, medium-sized furniture. Everything fits when you know how to use the full space. Number 6. The compartment that exists so your wet umbrella doesn't ruin your floor mat. You arrive in the rain, get in the car, the dripping umbrella goes on the floor, the back seat, or you leave it in the trunk where it's going to soak everything else. What you don't know is that in several vehicle models, the manufacturer built a specific space for exactly this problem. It's a narrow compartment, usually located in the driver's door sill, under the seat, or in a side channel next to the front seat. It's designed with a sealed lining or an internal drain so the water from the umbrella doesn't reach the mat or the carpet. What nobody tells you. Trapped moisture in a car's carpet is one of the leading causes of that musty smell that drivers spend hundreds of dollars trying to eliminate with deep cleaning services. Preventing that damage from the start is incomparably cheaper than fixing it afterward. This function is almost never mentioned by the dealership salesperson and is buried in a section of the manual most people never read. If your model has it and you didn't know, you've missed out on years of dry floor mats. Number 5. The system that closes your windows on its own the moment it starts raining. You left the windows open to air out the car, stepped away for 5 minutes, it started raining, and when you got back, the inside was soaked. There are cars that solved that problem years ago, and most of their owners never activate that function because they don't even know it exists. On vehicles equipped with rain sensors for the automatic wipers, that same sensor is in many cases connected to the window control module. When the sensor detects rain on the windshield, it sends a signal to automatically close any open window without you touching anything, even with the car off and locked. What nobody tells you. This function operates as long as the car has enough charge in the battery to move the window motors. It doesn't need the engine to be running. The system is smart enough not to close the window all the way if you only had it cracked open. It leaves the proportional gap instead of crushing whatever might be in the frame. It's a function that seems small until the day it saves your car's interior. Number 4. The floor mat hooks that exist to prevent real accidents. For years, you've been pushing the driver's floor mat back with your foot every time it slides forward. You treat it as a minor annoyance. It isn't. A mat that slides under the brake pedal is a documented safety risk that caused serious accidents and was behind one of the largest vehicle recalls in automotive history. The solution already exists in your car. It's on the floor. Look closely at your driver's floor mat. On the floor, there are 2 small hooks or plastic clips built into the carpet. Your original mat has holes or straps that connect directly to those hooks and lock it in place. A mat anchored correctly never moves. What nobody tells you. Most drivers who buy replacement mats or third-party luxury mats don't know that those new mats need to have the same anchor holes. If they don't have them, or if you don't connect them, the mat can slide under the pedal. The gap between the mat and the hook is so small that you can look straight at the floor and not notice it's disconnected. Check it right now, literally right now, before your next drive. Number 3. The dashboard icon that appears before the ice is even visible. It's early morning. You left early, the sky is clear, the streets look dry, and you drive like any other day. But there's a symbol on your dashboard that's been trying to tell you something for minutes that could completely change how you should be driving right now. When the outside temperature drops to around 3 degrees Celsius, your car activates a visual alert, usually a snowflake or an ice crystal, accompanied by a sound signal. Most drivers see it, dismiss it, and keep driving exactly the same. That's the mistake. What nobody tells you. The alert doesn't activate when water freezes. It activates before that, because road surfaces, especially bridges, overpasses, and shaded areas, can drop several degrees below air temperature and freeze well before the thermometer hits 0. Black ice is transparent. You don't see it until you're already on top of it. When that alert appears, the right response is to slow down, increase the distance from the car ahead, and treat any shadow on the pavement as potential ice. It's not an exaggeration. It's exactly what your car's system was designed to ask of you. Number 2. The Eco button almost nobody uses correctly. Is it on your dashboard or the center console? You've probably pressed it at some point, felt the car respond more sluggishly, and turned it off immediately. That's exactly what manufacturers expect you to do. Eco mode doesn't make the car slower, it makes the engine work within more efficient RPM ranges. It reduces the air conditioning compressor's load and smooths out the throttle response to avoid the sudden acceleration that burns more fuel than necessary. The direct result? Real-world studies show improvements of between 5 and 15% in fuel consumption when eco mode is used consistently in city driving and stop-and-go traffic. What nobody tells you, it's not designed for the highway or for merging onto a fast road. It's designed exactly for the type of driving most drivers do every day. City streets, traffic lights, traffic, short distances. If you calculate the annual fuel savings for an average driver doing that kind of daily commute, eco mode can add up to several full tanks of gas a year without changing a single habit, without going to any shop, just by pressing a button you already have. Number 1. The compartment that completely changes how you use your trunk. This is the one that makes people want to go check their car the moment they hear it. For months, maybe years, you've been using your trunk to the max. The grocery bags, the backpack, the cables, everything's stacked and jumbled together. What you don't know is that underneath all of that, underneath the trunk mat, underneath where the spare tire or the inflation kit sits, there's a second storage level that most drivers never discover. Take out the spare tire or the foam insert. Underneath, there's an additional compartment built into the vehicle's structure, perfectly sized to store the things you always want to have in the car, but don't want in the way or visible. The emergency kit, the jumper cables, the first aid kit, documents, backup cache. What nobody tells you. That compartment exists because engineers design cars with structural cavities that would otherwise sit completely empty. Manufacturers include it, but rarely mention it. The double kicker. First, thieves who steal things from trunks go straight for the visible space and almost never check under the floor. That compartment is one of the safest spots in the whole vehicle to store valuables. Second, some vehicles have that space large enough to hold a full emergency kit, jumper cables, and a change of clothes without taking up a single inch of the trunk's visible space. How many years have you owned your car without knowing that space existed? We went through 17 functions that already come built into most modern cars. No extra cost, no installation, no shop visit needed. The problem was never the car. It was that nobody took the time to explain to you how what you already have actually works. Which of these surprised you the most? Leave it in the comments. And if you know someone who's about to pay for a repair that could be avoided with one of these functions, share this video with them. It could save them real money. In the next video, we're going to get into functions that don't even show up in the manuals of most versions of the same model. See you there.